Man Man sat listening to her grandfather recount tales of the past. Now old and frail, his greatest regret was betraying his sworn brother and ally, the king of Gai. Years ago, invaders attacked Gai, but the Chao family remained idle, sending not a single soldier. As a result, Gai swiftly fell. He told her about Gai Thu, a boy forced to face both internal and external enemies. Gai Thu's older brother had warned him never to trust anyone, revealing the Chao family's treachery. Before his death, Gai Thu's brother hid him in a small chest as enemy soldiers swarmed. The brother, weak but valiant, fought bravely before being killed. Gai Thu clearly saw Li Su, the brutal killer, his face scarred, a sight he'd never forget. The Chao family faced a difficult choice. Intervening risked endangering their own people. This decision weighed heavily on the family for a long time. A divination by Man Man led them to withdraw their troops. Now, Gai Thu, having built a formidable army, was about to march on the capital. Li Su's conquest of Shidu years ago would soon be reversed. Man Man knew Gai Thu harbored a deep resentment, and helping Li Su would only condone his crimes. However, if they did nothing, after retaking Shidu, Gai Thu would likely conquer Yanzhou and seize the crucial base at Panyi. This worried the grandfather greatly. But the widowed wife of old Gai Hu, Gai Thu's grandmother, proposed a marriage alliance to avert war. While beneficial, it was uncertain if Gai Thu would agree to marry the daughter of his sworn enemies, 3 generations of whom had fallen on the battlefield. The Chao family was troubled. But by the river, others laughed and played, including Da Chao. Carefree and unconcerned, Man Man approached her, discussing the current situation. Only when she learned of the proposed marriage to Gai Thu did Da Chao's demeanor change. Just as Man Man returned, Xiao Dao informed her of the arrival of Lu Pian, Lu Yan's uncle, bearing a marriage proposal. The Chao family found the gifts perfunctory, far from the lavish offerings Lu Yan's family boasted. Yet no one, not even Man Man's close companion Xiao Dao, voiced any objection. In stark contrast, on the distant battlefield, Gai Thu's formidable generals sharpened their swords, their faces grim. 4 generals prepared their blades, not for battle, but to carve up a roasting animal. Then Gong Sun Yang arrived, the only strategist in Gai Thu's camp. He delivered a letter. The grandmother had arranged a marriage between Gai Thu and the eldest Chao daughter. Failure to comply would leave Gai Thu vulnerable to a combined force of Li Su and the Chao family. Yet, this did not deter Gai Thu's advance under the banner. Kill Li Su, exterminate the Chao clan. Shidu fell back into Gai Thu's hands. That night, Man Man and Da Chao shared a bed. Both sleepless and troubled, Da Chao heard a noise outside. It was Bai Jie, the strong stable hand whom she loved. Without the arranged marriage, their union was doubtful. But now it was too late. Da Chao, prioritizing the greater good, accepted her fate. Back in the room, she found Man Man awake, who had witnessed the scene between her and Bai Jie. Man Man gathered Da Chao's belongings, taking her outside to Bai Jie. Man Man willingly sacrificed herself, agreeing to take Da Chao's place. The sisters wept as Da Chao rode away with Bai Jie. The next day, Da Chao's disappearance caused panic. The importance of the marriage alliance was clear to all. Zhang Pu set his sights on Man Man. Some opposed, but most prioritized survival, ignoring Man Man's engagement to Lu Yan, who paled in comparison to Gai Thu. Ignoring the others, Man Man went to her grandfather. The next day, Man Man, bearing the token of Pan Yi, arrived at the city gates, only to have Gai Thu draw his bow. The national priest intervened, allowing the bridal party entry. Over the days spent with Gai Thu, Man Man thought she understood him. She handed over the Pan Yi seal. But instead of any words of gratitude, Gai Thu immediately expelled her and her entourage from Xindu. Man Man couldn't believe it. Realizing she'd been mistaken about him, Gai Thu remained silent, merely repaying the Chao family's previous actions. As Man Man was driven away, a crowd gathered. The national priest objected, deeming Gai Thu's actions impulsive and reckless. Gai Thu disregarded his concerns, only his burning hatred mattered. The priest protested, emphasizing Man Man's vulnerability as a woman. Gai Thu considered this but said nothing. Meanwhile, upon hearing of Man Man's expulsion, the citizens of Xindu attacked her carriage with stones, making her escape difficult. They were then ambushed by Lu Yan's men. Xiao Dao and the others knew Lu Yan was no good, fearing they were escaping one wolf only to fall into another's den. Man Man had to devise a counter-strategy. Upon exiting the carriage, Man Man feigned tears, deceiving Lu Yan. However, he was not without his own plans. He intended to take Man Man to Pan Yi, using her to gain easy access to the city. News of Man Man's expulsion reached the Chow family. They knew of her plan regarding Pan Yi but couldn't stop her. Aware of Man Man's nature, Bai Jie informed Da Chao of Man Man's situation, and she, wanting to check on Man Man, set out with Bai Jie to wherever Man Man was. That night, Gai Thu ordered his troops to advance on Pan Yi the following day. The national priest then entered, reporting that Lu Yan's forces were already defending Pan Yi. Gai Thu refused to believe it, since he possessed the seal. He didn't know Man Man could open the city gates. Enraged, he ordered that Man Man be considered a deserter who had fled with Lu Yan, with orders to kill her if captured. They immediately marched towards Pan Yi. Man Man awoke from a nightmare where Gai Thu attacked the Chow family, showing no mercy. Awakened in fear, her companions wiped away her sweat. Man Man vowed to prevent such a tragedy. Outside, Lu Yan waited, wanting to discuss their marriage. His uncle was displeased that Man Man, upon marrying Gai Thu, had surrendered Pan Yi, yet he remained silent. Lu Yan wanted to finalize the now interrupted wedding, but Man Man refused, concealing her feelings while buying time. When Lu Yan went out, he encountered Yang Feng, the Pan Yi magistrate, who wanted to see Man Man, but Lu Yan prevented it on the grounds that she was unwell. Yang Feng left without further comment. Lu Yan worried about Gai Thu possessing the Pan Yi seal, and so incited the people with rumors about Gai Thu's cruelty. Overhearing this, Man Man understood Lu Yan's strategy. Just then, Yang Feng directed people to deliver food supplies, giving Man Man a chance to speak with him. She revealed her knowledge of impending events, suggesting that if Lu Yan disregarded the people, mercy would be unnecessary. Man Man then asked for directions to Yangning Canal and left. Upon her arrival, Lu Yan also appeared. Anticipating his plan, she suggested a strategy to make his actions more meticulous. But Lu Yan wanted to eliminate not only Gai Thu but also the citizens of Xindu. Man Man tried to dissuade him, but he insisted, ordering his soldiers to bind and imprison everyone. Man Man knew Lu Yan was wicked, but not to this extent. Things went smoothly until the wedding venue was discussed. Both sides were unwilling to compromise, each with their own hidden agendas. Seeing this, Gai Thu, without further thought, lifted the curtain where Man Man sat. Unexpectedly, his gaze lingered a moment before he finally agreed, adding that he didn't have much patience. After he left Man Man a book, a detailed map of Pan Yi's terrain. Man Man understood his intentions, even without the arranged marriage. Seizing Pan Yi was a distinct possibility for Gai Thu. Her priority now was to find Gai Thu's weaknesses to determine her next move. The following day, everyone discussed Gai Thu. Xiao Dao had gathered information from various sources, corroborating what Man Man already knew. Gai Thu was cruel, petty, and ruthless. Xiao Dao recounted how Li Su's body was dismembered and placed in a chest, a story that made her nauseous. Man Man, however, remained impassive. Li Su deserved his fate, his crimes too numerous to count. Man Man's concern was Gai Thu's treatment of Shidu's populace. She learned that life under his rule wasn't easy. He even forbade people from worshipping at the ancestral shrine, ordering its demolition, a move met with public disapproval. The people in Gai Thu were far from harmonious. The next day, Gai Thu and the national priest conducted an inspection. The people worked diligently, addressing Gai Thu as Lord, but their faces showed no enthusiasm. Seeing Gai Thu sigh, the priest remarked that the people of Shidu had suffered under Li Su's oppression, and now, Gai Thu's ill reputation prevented cooperation. They feared another cycle of suffering. Meanwhile, Man Man observed from the highest point in Xindu, surveying the city and its hard-working people. Dressed in red, she drew many eyes, including Gai Thu's, who saw her only as a pretty, useless distraction. Gai Thu faced significant difficulties due to the people's unwillingness to cooperate, but these were eventually resolved thanks to Man Man. Hearing this, Gai Thu showed no reaction. Later, returning to his residence, he found numerous people presenting flowers to Man Man. Their eyes met. Man Man quickly rose to bow. Later, as he sat with Man Man, she was careful in her words and actions. But to Gai Thu, it seemed meaningless. He wouldn't be fooled by the Chow family again. That evening, Man Man consulted with an old woman, well versed in local affairs. Madame Zhang recounted the story of the wall Gai Thu had ordered demolished. A wall met with fierce resistance. It was built using the remains of soldiers who died on the battlefield and had become a sacred place of remembrance and mourning. Madame Zhang gave Man Man a prayer amulet. Not far away, Gai Thu arrived, furious to see the wall still standing. Despite his orders, the priest tried to explain, but Gai Thu wouldn't listen. Seeing Man Man, he approached her. He hadn't forgotten the wall's significance. Enraged, he ordered its destruction. Nearby, Zhen Ji, a longtime protector of the people, drew his knife. The priest explained Zhen Ji's actions to Gai Thu, prompting him to relent. The next day was Zhen Ji's execution. His words resonated with the populace. The situation was tense when Man Man intervened. Her proposal, while infuriating the people, helped Gai Thu maintain public favor. However, Man Man was ostracized, forced to take refuge on high ground. Gai Thu recognized her act, but he didn't care. He treated her wound and left. That night, there was great commotion. Gai Thu had officially dismantled the wall, a symbol of suffering and loss. His words won over the hearts of the people. Gai Thu's composure faltered only when he saw a relic of his deceased grandfather from the battlefield, rekindling his hatred.